Hello and welcome back. So we are now on to the Tuesday of week 3 lab activities with our gram stain. This is lab 3-7. This is the first of our differential stains. So when we take a look at our gram stain packet 3-7, it has some introductory information about the background of the development of the stain, and we're learning that in chapter 4 as well. So Christian Gram figured out that these two different groups of bacteria have different physical features, and when they go through this staining process, they come out as different colors, which is really nice to help differentiate different groups of bacteria. So if you have a result where your bacteria you go through the gram stain process and you get purple cells, these are what we call gram positive. And if you have a pink outcome, this is called gram negative. So we have gram positive cells and gram negative, and that's what we're going to be looking for. And this picture here is showing you a mixed slide. It has both gram positive purple and gram negative pink cells on that slide. So there's a lot of background information showing the difference between the cell wall structure, and then just some diagrams and pictures to help you understand kind of some pitfalls that people go into. I'll let you read through that. I'm not going to spend the time on that here. I want to focus on walking you through the process of the gram stain. Okay, so it's going to start off very similar to your simple stain in that you have to make a smear. So again, I'm going to start off with my paper towel organization, my clean slide. I had a clean slide already. Okay, so I just have my one organism still. I'm just still working with Mycobacterium flea. But when you are in lab doing the gram stain, you're going to do 3 of these. So that's why this paper towel organization is going to be really helpful for you. All right, I'm going to start my flame my loop. I'll get my drop of water, again using my loop as a tool, as a nice little measuring tool to get the right amount of water for my smear. Okay, just a little bit of water right there. I'm going to put that right in the middle. Flame my loop again. I'm going to try to get a little bit more bacteria this time, just because the smear didn't show up very well last time. So I'm going to try to get a little bit more visible for you guys. All right, yeah, that's looking a lot better. So I'm making my little emulsion, and, oh, looks like my phone turned sideways there on me. There we go, fixed you back. So sometimes if you found that you did too much water or too much bacteria, you can always adjust it. So I got a little bit too much bacteria, so I might go back and just add a small, tiny little bit of water just so my smear isn't too thick. If you add too much water, you can always make your smear bigger on the slide so it spreads out, and then it will dry a lot faster instead of a big concentrated puddle right in the middle. Right, so that's a little bit better. You can kind of see there we go. You can see that smear better. Right, so nice and cloudy, you can see it, it's there. So then we're gonna I'll flame my loop, and then we gotta wait for that to air dry. You're gonna get to do gram stain quite a bit in this class. You're gonna do it here on the first day you're learning, and then we do gram stain again on the unknown project, and you're expected to be able to do gram stain on the lab practicum. So you'll have lots of opportunities to practice your gram stain throughout the term. But even though you'll have more opportunities to practice, it's still good to make sure you're following the instructions step by step when you're doing it the first time. And then also, because you're going to be doing 3, it's best to do 1 at a time on this first day, because you don't want to be, doing all of these different timings for 3 slides at once. So make sure you are, whenever you have multiple slides running at the same time, you can do the heat fix and smear and get those all ready at the same time. But once you start the staining, make sure that your staining is done 1 slide at a time, just to prevent any mistakes that could happen. Okay, so this is air drying. Okay, I'll heat fix. Make sure we cook those bacteria, get them stuck on the slide. All right, so now we're going to start here. This is our heat fixed smear. I can turn my flame off since I've done heat fixing. So then we're going to do the first step of gram stain is crystal violet. Now in your stain boxes, the first 4, there's 2 crystal violets, 2 gram iodines, well I'm missing one here, 2 safranins, 2 ethanols, and 2 safranins. So you have 2 sets of gram stain ingredients in each of these trays. So what I like to do, because I want to be super organized, is I just set them all out in order right in front of me, and then your lab partner can have the other ones, or the other people that you share a table with can have the other set. So I put them in order so I know exactly which one I'm gonna do, because we don't want to mix things up and take them from the wrong spot on the tray, because sometimes that happens. So I know I'm doing Crystal Violet first. I'm gonna do that flooding my smear for 60 seconds. So this is a nice, cool purple one that's got some iridescence in it, which is kind of fun. Sometimes it looks like it's got some gold in there. So for purposes of time, I'm not going to sit here for the full 60 seconds, but you will on yours. So we're just gonna pretend 60 seconds went by. I'll turn towards the sink so you can see that a little bit better. Okay, so then you'll just spray that off right into the sink. Okay, and so here you can see the purple, it picked up the purple, right? So then the next is iodine for 60 seconds. So you got your grams iodine, which is kind of a goldeny color solution. So grams iodine really makes the crystal violet crystals kind of get bigger and penetrate into the gram-positive cell walls a little bit more. So again, you're doing about 60 seconds of iodine. So we're just gonna pretend that a minute's gone by. You'll rinse that off in the sink. Okay. The next step is probably the most tricky step of gram stain. This is your decolorizer, it's ethanol. We do not sit the ethanol on the slide for just a long period of time. What we do is we hold the slide at an angle. Make sure you have your water ready. This is why I only recommend you do one slide at a time, because the timing is very important. You hold your slide at an angle and then you run the ethanol over the smear until what drips off is kind of a pale pinkish color. It may not remove all of the crystal violet, but you'll know that you've removed enough when the dripping off of the corner of your slide is kind of a pale pinky color. So you'll see a lot of the purple come off at first, right? And then you just keep doing that until it's kind of a pale pink. And then you quickly rinse with distilled water. Because if we leave that ethanol on for too long, it can over decolorize and it can remove the crystal violet from even gram-positive cells, and we don't want that. Okay. So then the last step is going to be safranin, so that's the pink stain, and that one can go on for just a minute. So you flood the stain, and you'll notice I did not blot dry in between each step. So you put on the next step right onto that wet slide. You only have to blot dry at the very end. Okay, so safranin goes on for a minute, and you do these 4 steps for every kind of bacteria. You don't mix and match. Whether it's gram-positive or gram-negative or a mystery, every bacteria gets all 4 of those steps. So then we rinse our safranin, and then this is where we can blot dry. And then it's ready to go under the microscope. So that is how you do your gram stain. There you go. All right, I will see you next time for the next staining procedure.